found him guilty. Second-degree murder.
Oh, no.
I don't think anybody expected it to be that rough one. Not even Fowler.
Mackenzie.
He must have swallowed Stella Chernak's story whole hog.
Her lies.
Well, can you prove that Rodney didn't say in anger what Stella said he did?
I'd swear that he never meant to kill Joe Chernak. That was an accident.
Well, we know Rodney. The jury doesn't. As far as they're concerned, Joe's dead, and Stella said Rod threatened to kill him. So, Fowler uses Stella to establish Rod as the aggressor. And that's what separates second-degree murder from a lesser verdict. So you can see the jury's logic in it.
They believed what they wanted to. Not about Rod, but Leslie Harrington's son. Rod's paying the price for being his father's son.
Well, if that's so, then I'm sorry. Maybe Fowler was counting on the same thing.
How can I tell Alice?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. I wish there was someone to soften it.
There isn't any. I remember when my mother called me from New York to say that you'd been found guilty. There's no way to make it anything but what it is. I'll go home and tell Alice.
You want me to come with you?
No, I think it'll be easier just the two of us.
Maybe you're right.
I thought you would have been gone by now. You know, gone.
I had some odds and ends left to do. I don't like to leave a job unfinished.
Yeah, so I have noticed.
Look, if you can't stand the sight of me, I'll leave right now. But I would like to put my papers in order.
Whatever you think.
It'll only take a day or two.
Whatever you think, Stella.
Sound like a broken record. Hey, did I quit or was I fired? I know. Whatever you think, Stella.
Where will you be going?
Do you care?
I was thinking about references.
Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for one. I can see it now for reference. Stella Chernak is an able and willing worker. If you put her in a hostile environment, watch her thrive. P.S. She's also a liar. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. The night.
Is that the way it was with the other jobs? I mean, starting off full of promise and hope and ending with a bitter taste. And then the next one after that, a little less promise, a little more bitterness. And then finally, no hope at all. Just complete bitterness. Is this the way it was? And when you met other people, I mean men in particular, did you say goodbye to them like this, too?
Goodbye.
Wait a minute. I would like to have met you before all the others. I would really like to have met Stella Chernak
Hello, I wasn't expecting you home for lunch. Allison, what is it? The jury. They've reached a verdict. So soon? Then it must be good. Mother? They found Rodney guilty of second-degree murder. But they've only been out overnight. You can't reach a decision like that in a matter of hours.
I know, dear. It doesn't seem right.
What's wrong with them? It's his whole life. Don't they realize that? It takes more time just to buy a new car. There should be a law for juries before they can sentence a man to prison. But they have to spend a night there themselves, just so they know how it feels where they're sending Rodney for his life. He didn't do it, Mother. He didn't do it.
I know that, dear. But it isn't over yet, you'll see.
I have to go there. I have to go to him. But what do I say to him? What should I do?
Allison and I used to spend a lot of time talking about communication. She said it was pretty difficult for people to get through to each other. I said, it's a lot of nonsense. All you have to do is be clear and direct. Well, I was clear and direct with Norman. He didn't understand me. I was clear and direct with Joe. We ended up fighting. I was clear and direct with the jury. And here I am.
I'm going over possible grounds for an appeal right now.
Now, the trial's going to cost money. You're about drained, aren't you, Dad?
Look, you're my son. If I hadn't run away from my own problems, you wouldn't be here in the first place.
Let's lay that to rest right now. I'm not a kid, Dad. I should have been able to handle it. I didn't. That's not your fault.
Rob.
Let me finish. You're the kind of guy that would have fought just as hard for me if I hadn't been guilty. But just for the record, I was telling the truth.
And truth isn't the all-conquering weapon you thought it was, is it, Rodney? Well, Leslie, we played things your way, with the usual result. I don't think you could have helped matters. You've won it very well, Rodney. You've been forged in a very hot crucible, and you survived. Maintain that composure for a little longer. Exactly what does that pretend? This case would never have come to trial if I'd been here. Well, I am here. And from now on, people are going to know it.
Mr. Peyton, if we start any pressure tactics...
We are not going to attempt anything, Stephen. I told you to destroy Stella Chernak. Evidently, your seminars in the law school didn't teach you the effective way. But there are men who know. I'll find one. I'll bring him here. An outside lawyer? That'll make a fine impression. Don't talk to me about impressions. You knew how this town felt about you. Why the devil did you let this case be brought to trial here?
Mr. Harrington wanted to have the trial moved. I disagreed.
Were you trying to prove something, Stephen? Were you trying to show this town just how clever a lawyer the poor boy from the wrong side of the stairs really is?
Don't blame Stephen for not wanting to move the trial. I was the one who wanted it held here. If anybody was trying to prove something, Grandfather, it was me.
Don't waste your time defending Stephen, Rodney.
I think Stephen wants a second chance just as much as I do. And I think I need it. But what I don't need is all this Monday morning quarterbacking. Now, I've just been found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. I can't walk out of this cell. I've lost control of most of my life. But I'm not going to give up what I have left, even if that's not very much, even if it's only the right to choose my own lawyer.
You're my grandson. I intend to see that you are freed from this jail and from everything that put you in here.
Continuing story of Peyton Place.
Fire me. Get yourself a gray-haired, distinguished old line barrister. A gentleman who can cough discreetly and force an entire courtroom to turn his way.
He married me just out of pity because of what I had to say about myself on the stand. And now with Rod convicted, he blames me.
You haven't worked for me that long. And until you do, keep your self-righteous indignation out of what doesn't concern you.